Hey, what's going on? What's going on? It's the Green Okie coming back at you again with another video. Okay, so in today's video, we're gonna go over NANPA. So, what is NANPA? So basically, NANPA, in a nutshell, it is the art of Mackin, or pickup game when talking to women. That's what NANPA is. So, um, NANPA is a very interesting topic, especially for Japan, but not only for Japan, but how it's kind of come to America now too. So let me give you some. So back whenever I was in Japan, which was like from 2013 to 2016, things were still kind of pre-COVID, which means they were kind of still, what can I say? Talking to women was still pretty masculine and still pretty common, right? So, but when I went to Japan, um, it was different because, like I said, Japan has this save face culture where they don't really want to put confrontation on anybody. They don't want to corner anybody. So this also leads into the social life as well. And Nampa is basically kind of frowned upon because you are basically going out in public and you're stopping women and you are talking to them and you're trying to get their number, for a possible relationship or more, right? So this is really, really frowned upon just because of the save face culture, and because so many, can I say, it goes against so many tenets of life or facets of life and tradition that, anybody who does it is just like, oh my God, like, why is he talking to me? Like, oh, and you can even see it's such a big deal that even if you sit too close to a woman on the subway, she may or may not get up and move, she because they're not used to Westerners and foreigners being in the country, right? So it's really it's a catch-22, you see, because here you have, population and birth rates on the decline, and countries like Japan and South Korea need more people there, or they're going to go out of existence, right? So on one hand, you have the culture saying don't talk to people, but you have a societal need saying, hey, make more babies. But if it's against our tradition to talk to women in public, then how can we make more babies? If it's against our tradition to be a Mac, to be playerish, to be, can I say, have this type of pickup game, how are we supposed to make more babies? How? What do you expect us to do? Right? And that's the catch-22, you see? Me as an American person, like I said, when I first got over there in 2013, like I was like, oh, I had all this testosterone and I had all this masculinity and everything, and now it's just like, it was when I went over there, it was like, yeah, you can't do that so much, you know. And I found out, I found out the hard way because, like, I was talking to this, I went up and talked to this woman one time, and, we was having a good conversation and everything like that. And, I was being nice. I was making sure not to push her or anything. I wanted her to give me her number because she wanted to give me her number, right? You know, And, it wasn't too long after, and the police came up to me. The police, I mean, like the police, nigga. The police came up to me and they started questioning me, and then they asked her like, "Hey, is this person bothering you? Is he harassing you?" And she took up for me. She said, "No, he's being nice and everything." But they didn't believe her. So the police took me to the police station, and they questioned me for like 3 hours. And they was like, what are you doing? Like, what were you doing with her? And I was just like, I'm just trying to get my Mac on, and y'all messed everything up. Like, she was right there at the cusp. She was right there. I was macking in another language, I was macking in Japanese until y'all came and ruined it, and they kept me there questioning me. Then they started, I don't think I had my passport on me. So then they went even like a step further. So one of the policemen, they took me to my house, and then the police went up in my house just to see if I had my passport. Yeah, the police took me to my house, and then just to make sure that I had my passport. Once he had my passport, everything was fine. Like, he said he was sorry to me and everything. He was just doing his job. But it was just like, is all that really necessary? I was like, was that even necessary? It didn't make any sense, I was just talking to a woman on the street, and all this happened. So that's a fair warning to all, right? Because you see, when you're in Japan, you used to couldn't do what you used to be able to do in America. And I say used to because now a lot of men over here in America, it feels like Japan has become, well, it feels like America has become a no NANPA zone or no Mackin zone, because the things that was prevalent in Japan they seem like they're prevalent over here, They don't want to everybody wants to save face now here in America. No one knows if you're video recording them. Nobody knows if you're trying to get content off of them. So men over here, in America now, we don't even talk to women like that anymore. So that part of American society is starting to fade and go away, right? So I'm finding myself between a rock and a hard place, because when I was in Japan, I told myself, America would never be like this. America would always, be the place where you could talk to women without fear of repercussions. But now it's like men have a whole lot more to lose by going up and talking to a woman. So America has become this no NANPA zone for American men, you see? So now it's like, well, shoot, if this is the case, I might as well be back in Japan, right? And you know what else is following? It's also following a low birth rate for Americans, because we aren't as, we're not as inclined towards one another now. Now it's just like, it's not necessary to have a relationship with anyone because of social media in one way or another, right? So because everything is being done digitally, everything is being done online, because you face the risk of it blowing up in your face, because you face the risk of losing your job, a lot of us as American men, we just don't want to date at all, don't want to have any pickup game at all, would rather just sit at home and play video games, right? So, it's very interesting how the globalization effect, how it usually comes from America, but now, it seems like it doesn't have to start here necessarily. It can also start from other countries and come here to America, you know. Um, Another thing about um, Japanese society relating to America, you know, you remember like the Joy Taylor situation and stuff like that, how it blew up, and in Japanese society, if you have a wife and if you, as a man, if you end up cheating on her or whatever, you could lose your job because of that, because it's just so frowned upon for you cheating on your wife and stuff like that, that you could just lose your entire job just because of that, just because of that. So I found that quite interesting when I was over there as well, you know, how your social life is tied to your work life. Just, you know, it is just tied. Like there's no buffer zone. It's tied to your work life. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's why NANPA is frowned upon. It goes against the culture, and it's kind of seen as disrespectful. And as a foreigner, you could be questioned and held by the police if you're talking to a woman on the street.